I'm Dr. Sonal Jain from Department of Anthropology, University of Delhi. In this series of forensic science lecture, today we are going to talk about the digital and cybercrime, the detection of the cybercrime and its analysis. In the forensic science, one of the branch which is most commonly used now in many cases is the cybercrime analysis. When we talk about the forensic science, it is derived from the word forensis, which means belonging to the forum, denoting the public square of the Roman cities where all public matters, including of judicial nature, used to take place. When we say forensic science, it is defined as the application of scientific methods and techniques for the purpose of justice. So, whenever a crime is conducted using any digital methods or using any cyber methods or use computer or any tablet or any mobile or any internet for the services in the crime, then we call it as a digital crime or a cyber crime. As we say, forensic science has many branches of physiological sciences, social sciences, forensic criminalistics, and one of the major branch is the digital forensic. Now, when we talk about the new era of this 21st century, most of the things are now digital. For example, most of our payments are in the digital form. Everything, whether we are applying for any university or any interview, in fact, the classes in the colleges after the COVID era, they have been digitalized. So, as soon as this digital factor is being introduced into our community, into our society, in fact, the criminals, they are also being shifted to the digital mode for the commission of crime. To say digital forensic, we can call it as the use of scientifically derived and proven methods towards the identification, preservation, collection, validation, analysis, interpretation, documentation, and presentation of digital evidence derived from the digital sources for the reconstruction of the events. So, digital forensic, we say that whatever evidence we have collected, in fact, we say the crime has been committed. For example, the police has raided an area where they used to use the area for the UPI payment defaults. So, that place, whenever the forensic expert will go to that area, they have to collect the evidences from that place, where they have to collect the devices that can be seized. They have to particularly collect all the memory and how it was taking place. So, basically reaching there, collecting all the evidence, analysis of that evidence, it all comes in the digital forensics. The first time this term was given by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, USA, where they say that the identification, collection, examination and analysis, while preserving the reliability of the evidence and retaining a tough chain of custody for the evidence. Digital evidence, when we talk about, it is a very fragile evidence. It can be tempered at any time, and majorly the people who are involved in the chain of the custody, they used to be very feel secure about that the evidence should reach the laboratory intact. Because a very single point where the memory of the card or the any other instrument which is being forfeited by the forensic scientist, they can be taken by the criminal and it can be, the evidence can be ruined. So, the chain of custody should be very strong, and the evidence, whenever the evidence is being collected from the crime scene, that evidence, the many copies like 3 to 4 copies should be made by the scientist who is collecting the evidence. So, digital crime, when we say, there could be many things like forensic data analysis, mobile device analysis, forensic audio and video. Forensic audio and video is also one of the major crime which is being going on, where the people, they can change the voice and they call another person to ask for money or to ask for ransom amount. So, that also comes into the forensic audio and video. Computer forensics, any area which uses the computer for the commitment of crime, that we call as the computer forensics, cyber forensics, and for all these things you need the internet, we need a device which uses the internet, and the person who is committing the crime, the motive could be anything. It could harm the person itself, it could harm the state, it could harm the government. For example, if we talk about the terrorist attack, they use this cyber forensics or the email where they terrorize the country, that could be attacking the government using the digital forensics. So, computer forensic, also known as the media forensic, it is an investigation of standalone computer that was involved in any crime. So, whenever we are analyzing the computer, the device which is being involved in the crime, investigating of that device, we call it as the computer forensics. The computer forensic investigation never investigate an evidence in original form, rather they prefer to investigate perfectly replicated digital image of the original. So, as I said before, whenever the forensic scientist or the person who are collecting the evidence from the crime scene, the forensic investigators, they reach the crime scene, they should make multiple copies of the digital evidence what they found at the crime scene. Whereas, when we talk about the cyber forensics, it is also known as the network forensics. Now, you see there is a difference between the computer forensics and the cyber forensics. In computer forensics, we are talking about the device computer which is being used. But the cyber forensics, we are talking about the network here, which network is being used by the criminals to commit that particular crime. So, it is an extension of the network security model, which traditionally emphasizes prevention and detection of network attacks. It also deals with capturing, recording and analysis of network traffic to detect and investigate the network intrusions. When we say that any malware, any virus has been installed into your computer through the network, if we click on any link which is not identifiable, then we call it as a network attack, and that comes into the cyber forensics. So, network forensics is not another term for network security. Basically, it is an extended phase of network security, as the data for forensic analysis are collected from security products like firewalls and intrusion detection systems. Software forensic is basically the code analysis is for identification and categorization of the malware source in the form of source code, email and any e-document. So, the technique to categorize the source of a suspect code is selection of suitable body of code and its feature for judgment. For example, if someone is mailing you an email which is suspicious, which is spam or any e-document, and you open that, that software is being installed in your computer by that single click, and that software can totally infect all the data which is present in your device. So, when we say the software forensic, it is to be deal with the crime under this category. For example, the identification of plagiarism, author of malicious code, that means the person who has sent the email, the spam email, the person who has written the code for that particular spam email, the profiling and the categorization. Now, coming to the next is mobile forensic. Basically, it is used due to mobile technology being utilized by criminals. For example, the frauds include reprogramming IMEI number of handsets, SIM cloning, rerouting of international calls by bypassing sanctioned exchanges, and exploiting mobile technology related vulnerabilities. So, when we say it involves, if someone's phone is being stolen, then they change the IMEI number of that particular handsets. It also involves the SIM cloning. And moreover, when we say that the call is coming from an international number, but they are basically the spammers or the network hijackers who are calling, and if you will pick the call, then it might install that particular malware into your mobile. So, any suspicious number from which the calls are being coming, or any suspicious link which is being sent from an unknown number, it is advisable not to click that link or not to pick up that call. So, when a mobile phone is found to be at crime scene, that time it is investigated through mobile forensic investigator by creating its memory image for evidence. Mostly mobile forensic is done after the crime accident. So, satellite phone investigation is also covering in this area, where with the help of GPS system, investigator can locate the position of criminal. That is also coming under the mobile forensics. Now, digitized document forensic. That is the forthcoming area of forensic science to detect the fraudulent document and solution to link generated fraudulent document to source. For example, when we say there are certain nowadays every degree which we receive, every document which is from the government or non-government, the importance in the monetary values or your educational values, they are also, all the documents are digitized, or your experience certificates from the different companies or the universities wherever you have worked, they can also be faked. So, that has to be identified, and this digital documents, they come into the digitized document forensic science. So, cybercrime and the emergence of forensic computing. The computer and cyber crimes are coming away from monarchy of predications, the omnipresence of digital technology. When we say in every area, the digital technology is being there. For example, when let's start from the day when we say we start our day with the mobile. In fact, nowadays, in fact, the ordering of grocery till the last of the day, where you make all the payments, whether it is school fee of your children, whether you have to pay, in fact, a small amount of rupees 10 or rupees 5 to any vendor, that is also being digitalized. We say the technology, when it is being developing, it has both pros and cons. So we are saying that the India is becoming digital, but the criminals are also becoming digital, and they are also taking ways through which they can commit the crime using this digital technology. So any criminal activity that uses computer either as an instrumentality target or means of perpetrating the further crime, that's come into the cybercrime. So cybercrime, if the internet is used to commit a crime, that could be identity theft. That means the person becomes you. That is the identity theft, hacking, viruses by sending through any email or any spam messages to you. The facilitation of traditional criminal activity is stalking. Sometimes if the person is stalking your profile or is stealing information from you, or the child pornography, this is another way where this traditional crime activities are being happening. Computers, cell phones, PDS devices, game consoles, everything can be used. Nowadays we have seen the younger teen generation, they are so much involved in gaming. Gaming has so much hazard. Firstly, they are too much into the screen timing. Secondly, sometimes the people who are sitting at the other end, they try to rob these teenager kids. They sometimes lure them into offers like you buy different games, different products which are available in the game, and you use your parents' credit card, debit cards. There was a case in the United States where the child of age 13 to 14-year-old, he used his parents' credit card to buy some game which was worth $2,000. So luring that, the persons, the criminals who are sitting at the other end, they are targeting this young juvenile kids, and they are asking them to buy different products of the game, or sometimes even they try to harass them, they try to see. There are many ways now the children are being targeted. In fact, in certain games, the pornography is being used where the children of age 13 to 14, they are being targeted through that. So, when we talk about the history of the cybercrime, the Michael Anderson is the first name which comes to the mind. He was the father of computer forensic, as he was special agent with the IRS. In the meeting in 1988 in Portland, Oregon, he created IACIS, that is the International Association of Computer Investigative Specialists. He sees the first computer evidence recovery specialist classes were held over there. So basically, as the technology was advancing, as the computers were coming into more and more of use, by the time the crime was also coming in the same way. Now the categories of cybercrime, when we say the cybercrime, they can be basically divided into three major categories. They are divided into against whom the crime is being committed. They can be committed against a specific single person, they can be committed against a property, and they can be committed against the government. The first category, when we say, is the cyber harassment. Is a distinct cybercrime. Various kinds of harassment can do and occur in cyberspaces or through the use of cyberspace. That can be sexual, racial, religious or other. That we see so often. In many cases, sometimes there could be certain photographs or videos of one person which are available, and that person can harass the another person that I will make your videos viral, or maybe that is one of the sexual way. The racial harassment could be on the basis of the different races, or the religious harassment. The mostly we see when the people, they are fighting on the name of different Hindu, Muslims, Christianity, religion, etc. So this comes when a single person is being targeted. That comes the cyber harassment of a single individual. The second category, we say, that is against the property. These crimes include computer vandalism, that means they destroy the destruction of other properties, transmission of harmful programs. Here we mean by the property is the device which we are using. For example, someone's computer is being traumatized, someone's computer is being destructed, someone's mobile phone is being destructed, or unauthorized trespassing through the cyberspace, or unauthorized possession of computer information. Nowadays, so much of your personal information is being leaked to many different companies. You receive so many calls from different spammers. How did they get your number? Simply the information which you have provided online to various websites while going for the online shopping, that have been shared with different spammers, and you receive at least 15 to 20 calls in a day which are spam. The third category, it's towards the government, where cyber terrorism is one distinct kind of crime in this category. The growth of internet has shown that the medium of cyberspace is being used by individuals and groups to threaten the international governments as also to terrorize the citizen of a country. We say whenever any crime which is being happened, a terrorist attack is being happened, then it has been many groups, terrorist groups, they take their names that it has been conducted by us. Also, we can see recently there has been some emails which has been surrounded to various Delhi and Noida schools that the bombing attacks might occur. So, that cyber terrorisms come to the government category, that these emails are being released by the criminals and they say that there would be a bomb planted in this particular school or this particular airport. So, that is the target, here is the government. When we say the frequently used cyber crimes, the theft of information which can be contained in the electronic form, that your personal information is being transferred, email bombing, lakhs and lakhs of emails are being sent to a person, so the system is crashed, data diddling, salami attacks, DOS attack, virus attacks, logic bombs, Trojan attacks, internet time thefts, web checking, theft of computer system, physically damaging a computer system, and the commonly which is going on, the money frauds which are UBI based, debit card based, credit card based, and so many individual, I would say that every day 100 to 200 individuals, they get UPI based money frauds. The victim, they are the victim of the money frauds. So, the cyber crimes, as we say, they are the harmful act committed from or against a computer or network, which differ from most terrestrial crimes in 4 ways. Firstly, they are easy to learn how to commit. Secondly, they require very few sources relative to the potential damage caused. Thirdly, they can be committed in a jurisdiction without being physically present in it. And fourthly, they are often not clearly illegal. That's why the digital crime is being conducted at a very high speed in our country. Previously, like around 5 to 10 years back, there used to be spam emails from Nigeria. That was the country where used to receive email about asking money, or they used to say that you have won a prize. If some people, they used to click the link, then they used to get the virus or the malware in their computers. But nowadays, the most important crimes which are being conducted is taking away your OTPs, or taking, we often see in the daily news that someone's account is being hacked, where they have clicked on the specific number or they have taken the call from a specific number. So, we say whenever we are talking about the cyber crimes, we should also talk about how to handle or tackle this. The persons who are old enough and they are using the digitalized methods, but they don't know whether that's a criminal who is asking or a normal person who is asking for the payment. Mostly Paytm, you get messages, the person's phones are being hacked by clicking a single link, and then they ask in money for the return messaging that it is very urgent. So, the persons who are using in digital payments, they should be realize that what kind of crimes can be committed against them. The criminal statutes have been extended into cyberspace to cover 10 different types of cyber crimes in 4 categories: data related crimes including interception, modification and theft; network related crimes including interference and sabotage; crimes of access including hacking and virus distribution; and associated computer related crimes including aiding and abetting cyber criminals, computer fraud and computer forgery. So, what the cyber forensic aims at? It aims at identifying the root cause of an event to ensure it won't happen again. Must understand the problem before you can be sure it won't be exploited again. And finally, who was responsible for the event. Most computer crime cases are not prosecuted, considering the acceptability in court of law as our standard for investigative practices. Ultimate goal is to conduct investigation in a manner that will stand up to legal scrutiny and treat every case like a court case. So, we have read about the cybercrime classification. They could be hacking, they could be cyber defamation, cyber pornography, cyber terrorist, computer validation, data digging, money laundering, email fraud, etc. All these are the different types of how the cybercrime can be conducted in how many ways. Computer piracy, we say the computer pirates steal intellectual property. They also harm your computer by installing viruses or spyware, or allow others to access the files contained in your hard drive beyond those you intend to share. So, one of the copyright violations, they have civil and criminal remedies. Financial crimes include the cheating, credit card frauds, money laundering, etc. Email bombing, as I told you, sending a large number of emails to the victim. In one case, as we studied, a foreigner who had been residing in Shimla for almost 30 years, he wanted to avail of a scheme introduced by the housing board to buy land at lower rates. But the government was not allowing him to buy because he was a foreigner. So, what did he do? He made an application, it was rejected. So, he decided to take the revenge. He sent thousands of mails to the Shimla housing board and repeatedly kept sending emails till their servers crashed. This is known as email bombing, and which can be used for crashing the server. Data diddling, when we say, this kind of an attack involves altering raw data just before it is processed. So, it happened in electricity boards in India have been victim to this data diddling programs. So, NDMC electric board fraud case, it took place in 1996. The computer network was used for receipt and accounting for electricity bill by the NDMC, and the collection of money, record maintenance and remittance in the bank were exclusively left to a private contractor who was a computer professional. So, what did he do? He misappropriated the huge amount of funds by manipulating the data files and to show less receipt and bank remittance. Another cybercrime is the sale of illegal article, for example, selling narcotics, weapons, wildlife. For example, we know certain wildlife animals, they are very expensive and they are in very demand. The crocodile skin for making bags, the snake skins for making bag. So, such information is posted on websites, auction websites, bulletin boards. Many of the auction sites even in India are believed to be selling cocaine in the name of honey. So, that is the sale of illegal articles, which also comes into the cybercrime. Cyber pornography, pornographic websites including the magazines, computers, the internet to download and transmit pornographic pictures, photo, writing. It also involves sometimes the child pornography. Online gambling is another form of cybercrime. Millions of websites they host on servers abroad offer online gambling. In fact, it is believed that many of these websites are actually fronts for money laundering. Nowadays, another crime, which is the intellectual property crime. These include the software piracy, copyright infringement, trademarks, violations, theft of computer source for email spoofing. A spoofed email is one that appears to originate from one source but actually has been sent from another source. For example, you might see in your email that this email has come from your bank, SBI bank or HDFC bank. But finally, when you see, the email has not been come from the bank name is there, but from the left and right hand side there are been certain other characters which are being present over there, and that is a forged email, that is known as email spoofing. So, I would say that the persons who are the young generation, the old generation, the middle generation, they should be made aware of different types of cyber crimes which can exist and digital crimes which are being happening using the digital payment networks. They should be made aware of how the crime can be committed and how they can be, there should be workshops where the people should learn how they can save from these different types of cyber crimes. What should they do when they are the victim of the cyber crime? More awareness, more workshops should be conducted so that the criminals, they are not able to target the victims and we can be saving ourselves from these type of digital crimes. Thank you.